Hi, Reddit. Throwaway account because I need some outside perspective. I'm a 23F and my boyfriend is 25M. Let's call him Jake. We've been dating for a little over a year, and everything, well, almost everything, felt like it was out of a dream. Jake's the kind of guy who's sweet, attentive, and thoughtful in all the little ways. We share the same values, laugh at the same dumb jokes, and even talk about a future together. In fact, he's been dropping hints about proposing this summer. Sounds perfect, right? But last night, something happened that made me question everything, and I'm not sure if I'm overreacting, being too sensitive, or if this is a red flag I can't ignore. It started like any other cozy night in. We were lying in bed, scrolling through his phone together, just killing time. Jake had his Facebook open, and he'd paused on a video of some funny dog antics. I leaned in closer, chuckling along. But as he navigated back to his main feed, my eyes caught something odd. His search history was filled with random girls' profiles. Some of them had profile pictures that were, let's just say, less than modest. Half-naked selfies, bikini shots, and, yeah, you get the idea. I couldn't help myself. I pointed it out. "What's this about?" I asked, trying to keep my voice neutral. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe this wasn't what it looked like. Jake froze. He tried to laugh it off at first, saying, "Oh, it's nothing. I clicked on a friend suggestion, and it just spiraled." "Spiraled?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "Why is it only girls, though? No guys? Just girls?" Jake sighed and put his phone down. What followed was a long, awkward conversation where he finally admitted the truth. He'd been lurking on these profiles because he thought the girls were attractive. He described it as a dumb, lustful rabbit hole that he'd fallen into, and he seemed genuinely sorry. But the damage was done. I didn't yell, I didn't cry, but I did ask him a question that had been gnawing at me ever since I saw his history. "If you think I'm so beautiful, if you think I'm out of your league, why do this? What's missing?" Jake looked at me, his face full of guilt. "I don't know. Maybe it's because we've been arguing more lately. Things have been tense, and I guess I just—" He trailed off, unable to finish. But I got the message. When things got tough, his loyalty wavered. That realization hit me like a ton of bricks. What made this even more shocking was Jake's stance on porn. He's always been firmly against it, citing his religious beliefs. He's talked at length about how objectifying women in that way is wrong, and how he'd never engage in it. So this? This felt like a betrayal on a whole other level. I told him as much. "This isn't just about the girls," I said. "It's about the fact that I thought you were different. I thought you had these values that set you apart. And now, I don't know what to think." Jake's shoulders slumped. "You're right, I messed up, I'm sorry." Here's where things got even more complicated. Jake's been planning to propose to me this summer. He's been talking about ring shopping, about how he wants it to be perfect. But after this, I told him I wasn't sure I could move forward with those plans. "Marriage isn't just about the good times," I said. "It's about how you handle the bad ones. And if this is how you deal with things when we argue, how can I trust you in the future?" Jake begged me not to call off the engagement plans completely. He promised to do better, to regain my trust. But I told him I needed time to think. Because honestly, I'm not sure if this is something we can come back from. The next few days were tense, to say the least. Jake tried to prove he was serious about changing. He deleted his Facebook, uninstalled social media apps, and even suggested couples counseling. But no matter what he did, I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Then, a week later, something happened that forced me to make a decision. Jake's best friend, Matt, reached out to me. He told me he'd been meaning to talk to Jake about this behavior for months, but didn't want to overstep. Apparently, this wasn't the first time Jake had gone down these rabbit holes. Matt assured me that Jake wasn't a bad guy, just someone who struggled with temptation. But that wasn't comforting. It just made me feel more conflicted. In the end, I made a choice. I told Jake that I needed space to figure out what I wanted. I moved back in with my parents for a while, and we agreed to pause our relationship. Jake was heartbroken, but he said he understood. During that time apart, I did a lot of soul searching. I talked to friends, family, and even a therapist. And I realized something important. Love isn't just about feelings. It's about trust, respect, and the choices we make every day. Jake had made a choice that hurt me deeply, and while I believed he was capable of change, I wasn't sure if I could move past this. After 2 months of separation, I met up with Jake to talk. I told him that while I cared about him deeply, I couldn't ignore what had happened. I needed a partner who could handle life's challenges without resorting to behavior that felt like a betrayal. Jake cried. I cried. But in the end, we agreed to go our separate ways. It's been a few months since then, and I'm still healing. Breaking up with Jake was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, but I know it was the right one for me. To anyone reading this who might be in a similar situation, I just want to say, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, don't ignore it. Relationships are about more than love. They're about trust, respect, and the choices we make every day. Don't settle for anything less than you deserve. Thanks for listening, Reddit. I needed to get that off my chest.